Tony's Topics. What's happening, folks? My name's Tony, and welcome to Tony's Topics. Alrighty then, this is dealing with the Cleveland Cavaliers Part 2, or the problem with the Cleveland Cavaliers Part 2. Say that 5 times fast. Yeah. Alrighty then. So where did I leave off? Blake Griffin. We were talking about Blake Griffin. Like I said, the man's got the exact same skill set as LeBron James. He likes to pass the ball. He likes to rebound the ball. But the first problem with the Cleveland Cavaliers, did I say the Cleveland Cavaliers? No, I was already thinking about LeBron. With the Los Angeles Clippers is the fact that Doc Rivers is determined to play him like a power forward. Blake Griffin is not a power forward. Whatever you say, whoever you are, Blake Griffin does not play like a power forward. Yeah, he's 6'10". Yeah, he's 250 pounds. But he still does not play like a power forward, alright? I saw that matchup against LaMarcus Aldridge, and I was unimpressed. LaMarcus Aldridge looked like a beast. And I had already talked about LaMarcus Aldridge, so let us move on. What does Blake Griffin play if Blake Griffin's not playing power forward? Small forward. He plays small forward. Doesn't Blake Griffin like to shoot long balls, shoot the three-pointer sometimes? Yeah, he likes to come away from the basket. Yeah, he likes to charge in and attack the basket every now and then. A lot like LeBron James. A lot of times he doesn't even want to take the ball up. He wants to pass the ball. A lot of times. Blake Griffin does a lot of passing. Okay? So why are you playing this guy at power forward? Why are you doing that? And especially because he is the #1 scorer for the Clippers. He is your primary scoring option. So you need his points. His points aren't optional. You need Blake Griffin to get 25 points a night. When Blake Griffin gets 18 points, it's a bad night. You understand? It's typically bad for the Clippers, okay? I mean, your top 3 scoring options are Blake Griffin, Jamal Crawford, and Chris Paul, in that order, because a lot of times Chris Paul's got to deal with assisting the ball, so a lot of times he's not going to go out there and have a 20-point night, okay? He's trying to facilitate the ball and make sure that the right people are getting the ball, okay? Because he's doing his job as a point guard. Those are your top 3 scorers right there, which means technically if Chris Paul is having a night where he needs to do more assisting, your third top scorer is J.J. Redick. Okay? No, it's not DeAndre Jordan. He's your rebounder, and everybody knows, anybody who's looked at his stats, he's like, what, averaging 10 points a game? He is not your top scorer. Every time they want to bring him out in the big 3, okay, you can do that. Now, granted, he was last year's rebounding champion, but the bottom line is, until DeAndre Jordan can pull away from the basket and shoot more shots like power forwards do, he's just going to basically get fouled into being put on the line and basically have low-scoring points. They know what to do. Let the ball get in DeAndre Jordan's hand and then foul him, because he's going to miss the free throws anyway. All right? So you got to get your free throws together, bro. They're trying to attack you on that. I mean, that's what they did all last season. In the playoffs, they got real dirty with it. Okay. So, what's the problem with the Clippers? We already discussed Chris Paul is amazing, broken. Enough said. Jamal Crawford is an active, a complete, tremendous athlete. The ability to get 20 points in 24 minutes of basketball consistently. Guy does not want to play 30 minutes, doesn't want to play 36 minutes, and forget that 44 crazy stuff that really no one should be playing except for some young rookies that you're trying to train up, and honestly, not even them. You're just trying to kill somebody with 44 minutes. Either way it goes. Jamal Crawford, 24 minutes. Okay, I'm speeding up. Oh, let me slow down for you. All right, Blake Griffin. Play this man at small forward. Play him at small forward. And why? Because you can now. Last season, you had DeAndre Jordan under the basket, and that was it. So you had to play Blake Griffin like he was a big man, even though Blake Griffin was getting pounded down there under the paint, okay? Because those are some big boys down there, and you really don't want Blake Griffin taking those kind of shots. Not when he's your primary scorer, not when he is the face of your franchise. All right? Who you need taking those shots is the guy you got over the summer, Spencer Hawes. Spencer Hawes, Doc. You get this guy. You go out and you get this guy, and you treat him like he's a backup center, and he's not a backup center. Yes, he's 7'1", but he's only 245 pounds, which means technically he weighs less than Blake Griffin. Okay? So, what is Spencer Hawes? He's your power forward, okay? You figured it out in the Portland game. Hey, if I change up the matchup and let DeAndre Jordan start guarding LaMarcus Aldridge, it neutralized LaMarcus Aldridge. Because best believe, LaMarcus Aldridge was going to score 30 points on you until you started putting DeAndre Jordan on him, okay? You saw it again. As soon as you tried Glenn Davis on him, that wasn't cutting it. You understand? On a real monster power forward like that, you better put some height on them. Okay? For the Anthony Davises of the league, the Tim Duncans, the Marcus Aldridge, you better put some height on that big boy. Otherwise, he's going to blow you up. Chris Bosh, he's going to blow you up if you don't put something big and tall and strong in his face. Okay. So therein lies Spencer Hawes. Here's what your starting lineup should look like on the Clippers. Your first guy, it should be Chris Paul at point guard, J.J. Redick in the first quarter. Now, you're going to bring in Jamal Crawford once people tired. That way he can have his time to get his points like, he does every time. But, he's just on that rotation. Call him the sixth man, whatever. That man's going to come away with 20 points. Okay, so your starting lineup, Chris Paul, J.J. Redick, Blake Griffin at small forward, Spencer Hawes at power forward, and then DeAndre Jordan. Now, yes, you need to find a third center so that you can rotate them in at power forward center. That's your small spot. And Glenn Davis, honestly, just isn't tall enough. Maybe Glenn Davis might be able to get away playing power forward against some power forwards, but by and large, for the most part, the guy's just not tall enough. Has great hustle, great height, but the bottom line is when a 7-footer sticks his hand up, it's just going to tower over 6'8" or 6'9" Glenn Davis. Sorry. So the bottom line is, I know you want him in that game, and I know he's got the heart, but hey, man, he's really just a really thick small forward. So what do? You get yourself some young rookie, some young hungry guy out of college, and you get a backup center. That's what you do, because that's what you're really looking for. You're looking for a backup center to take the weight off of DeAndre Jordan. And looking at that Portland Trailblazers game, DeAndre Jordan is finally starting to look like he can play center and power forward, because he did an excellent job of guarding LaMarcus Aldridge. Alrighty then. And two, this will conserve the resource of Blake Griffin. You don't need Blake Griffin getting banged up, man. I mean, how long has he got to tell you about this? Because that matchup against LaMarcus Aldridge was terrible. LaMarcus Aldridge looked like a monster over Blake Griffin. And Blake Griffin's not a small guy. He's just a small forward. Okay? Not a power forward, small forward. If you keep playing him up, see, he's wasting a lot of energy trying to guard these power forwards every night. And so that's taking away his energy, which takes away his ability to score accurately. He doesn't have the energy to do the moves that he needs to do. And, with fatigue comes a lack of accuracy. So you're shooting yourself in the foot. Did it ever occur to you that maybe if Blake Griffin was playing small forward instead of power forward, he might start to average around 30 points per game? Because at power forward, he's averaging 24 points a game. So if you actually let him play a position where he doesn't have to put so much energy into guarding some 7-foot muscle-bound dude, he might actually score more points. What's up, Doc? Use your man correctly. I mean, get over this Matt Barnes thing, okay? Because I'm tired of seeing it. He's not Matt Barnes. Great heart. Great hustle. I know, Doc, but he's not scoring. Bottom line, he's a backup small forward, backup shooting guard. Okay? And due to the fact that your shooting guard position is completely locked up between Jamal Crawford and J.J. Redick, yeah, you got to play him as a backup small forward, which is completely fine, because it's not like, Matt Barnes is giving you an average of 10 points a night. So I really don't know why you're flipping out so hard about having him in for these long minutes that you have him in for. Why are you trying to run him for 36 minutes a night? You're starting small forward. No, he's not. No, he's not. Stop it. Stop it, man. I mean, seriously, you're losing games that you're not supposed to be losing. You got all these weapons. You have the best point guard in the league, arguably, right next to Steph Curry. Arguably the best point guard in the league in Chris Paul. You have a freak of nature that can get you 20 points in only 24 minutes, which allows his position to be freed up for J.J. Redick to get an additional 16 points, which means you could have a production of almost 36 to 40 points coming out of your shooting guard position alone. Okay, number 3, you have Blake Griffin, a top 5 scorer in the league. Top 5. A young LeBron James. As long as you don't wreck him by playing him against bigger men, let him get the mismatch at small forwards. I mean, Blake Griffin would be just fine against Kawhi Leonard. Blake Griffin will handle himself just fine against LeBron James. Or any other small, anybody else being played in the small forward position. Blake Griffin would be just fine. He'd be able to guard them and have plenty of energy to score his points on offense. Spencer Hawes is a producer. The guy gets points. The guy gets rebounds. He's productive. Get this guy in the game, man. 36 minutes. 36 minutes? 36 minutes. Get him in the game. Get him in the game. If he can't run for 36 minutes, take him out at 24, but you really want to get him up to going 36 minutes because then you get the Twin Tower effect, the same effect that the Spurs have been ripping people's souls out for the last 15 years. I mean, let's just think about this. The first ring Tim Duncan got with David Robinson, what was that, back in 99? And so he just picked up his 5th ring in 2014, which means over the course of 15 years, the Spurs have won 5 rings. Ergo, the Spurs average winning a ring around once every 3 years. I know it's not exactly spread out like that, but they win 33% of the time over the last 15 years. And let's not even get into the one where they almost pulled it out against Miami in 2013. Okay? So, I mean, technically, Tim Duncan might just have as many rings as Jordan by now. And it all happened with the Twin Towers concept. Tim Duncan, Thiago Splitter, Tim Duncan, Tim Duncan, Boris Diaw, Thiago Splitter, and now he's even training Aaron Baines in the same way. 2 big men on the court. Eric Spoelstra didn't like running 2 big men on the court, and he found out that the Miami Heat, even though they were a top 5 team last year, had the worst rebounding in the league. Does that make any sense? Yes, they were top 5 because they had the most steals per team. They had the highest accuracy. Bosh, Dwayne Wade, and LeBron were all shooting over 50%, but their rebounding was the worst. Let's learn from other folks' mistakes. Get Spencer Hawes and DeAndre Jordan on the court at the same time. You got plenty of backup guys, Doc. It's your starting lineup that needs to be fixed up. Chris Paul, J.J. Redick to start, who you will switch out for Jamal Crawford, maybe even get a three-way rotation right there. Blake Griffin at small forward, Spencer Hawes at power forward, DeAndre Jordan at center. Or you could switch those 2 at the end. It really doesn't matter. And now you just need to get you a young kid that you can rotate in there because Glenn Davis can't play center. Probably can't play power forward. It's just a height issue, man. It's a height issue. If you love Matt Barnes so much, run him as Blake Griffin's backup at small forward. But starting Matt Barnes, knock it off. Stop the madness. Get the win. You've got all the potential to get the rings, Doc. Let's not even bash you on this, man. There's no excuse. Get her done. Thanks for tuning in to Tony's Topics. Problem with the Clippers Part 2. See you next time.